The last rose I did actually off of a Crafter's Companion rose die. This one I used the Spellbinders version of this is a camellia, but it's almost exact. I mean, honestly, the petals, you can't even tell the difference. You could mix the dye up and you would never know. And what I did is I just cut 3 of the largest layer, 2 of the next, 2 of the next, and then 2 of the smallest, and some foliage. And I'll show you how I did these. So I started just with my pink tulip ink, and I just kind of went from the middle, and I did all the petals essentially the same. So I'll do one and then I'll stop so that you don't have to watch all of them. And then I took my plum jam and I just went right around the edge. Okay. I liked the looks of the dark edges because I think it makes it stand out really nicely. Each of the layers is very noticeably independent. So it looks like that before I start shaping them. And this is just 80-pound cardstock. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up the rest of the petals and I'll be back with you in a minute. Okay, now I've got all my petals inked and I'll show you how I shaped them. So on the little teeny ones, these are going to roll up into essentially a bud. So I took them basically on my pokey tool and rolled it around the pokey tool so that they kind of curve in like that. Okay. And then I sort of wrapped them up or pulled them up and somewhat squished them together because this is going to be my very center one. And just kind of roll it between my fingers. That's my center of my little flower bud. So the very middle. Okay. So it's going to look like that. And then the next one, I did the same thing, except I didn't squish it up. So kind of roll it around. So I rolled it around my pokey tool. And then curled them up this way as well. Because you just want to work these things, these petals, so that they get nice and you can see this one, I'm rolling it with the color on the outside because they're going to be so tightly together that you want the color on the outside. So that's going to be my second one. And then we're going to go to the next ones. Now these, all of the next sizes I did essentially the same way. So I started by rolling them sort of from the end under, and then I rolled each side, and then I took one side and rolled back up the other way so that it kind of looks a little bit like that. And you want to work them enough that you kind of break down those fibers. But you don't want to rip the petals off, obviously, so you got to be a little bit careful. But just kind of roll them to one side, then to the other, and then pick a side to roll up. And don't always roll up the same side, so kind of go, you know, you want it to be a little bit almost like ruffly. And you can do some, if you want to leave some you know, completely just sort of like that. So you get just sort of a difference so that they don't all look the same. And you just want to do exactly the same on every single layer. Okay. Now you're going to put your petals together and you just start with the bottom, the big layers, and layer one on top of the next. Offsetting the petals. So you're filling the gaps. And you're just going to kind of bring those, as each layer goes on, just kind of bend them up. We're going to put, for our last one, just put glue on there and poke it right down in the middle. And there's your flower.